The main differences between EPDM and TPO and as far as their performance goes really is just one's white, one's black. You can get different colors in TPO and EPDM for that matter, but for the most part, they come standard. TPO's typically it's going to be white, your EPDM is black, and obviously the EPDM being black is going to be a little bit hotter. So that's kind of what we push for, areas in the Midwest up to, further north. The quicker you can get snow and ice off of your roof, get the water to the drains and keep things flowing, keep any ice from damming on the roof and, ponding, any type of freezing and ice sliding around the roof. That's what's going to prolong your roof. That's going to make it a lot better. We'll push an EPDM system. The further south you go, where you're not going to have, a lot of winters, or at least they're a lot more mild, but you're going to have a lot hotter temperatures throughout the year. The TPO becomes a lot more popular choice. It's more reflective. It's going to keep your building a little bit cooler. You don't have ice and snow on the roof, so you don't need to worry about having a black roof to melt the snow and get that ice and snow off of there. So those are really the only two differences in how they perform as far as that goes. The cost difference and lifespan difference between TPO and EPDM are identical. They both have the same exact warranties, same mill thickness. There's really not a whole lot of differences in that. Technologies came so far, so it's going to come down to the contractor install as far as that goes, or the manufacturer, what warranties put on, how well was it inspected, and how well was the job done. But as far as the performance, there's really no differences. It's personal preference, and probably it's more going to be geared towards where you live, as far as temperatures go. EPDM and TPO both have a lifespan of approximately 30 years. We offer 25-year NDL warranties. You'll definitely get 25 to 30 years out of them, depending on the slope of the roof and conditions. Sometimes a little bit more. Most commercial buildings try to be a little bit proactive, and about that 25 to 30 year, range, you want to start being proactive and budgeting for a new roofing system at that point. But expect about 30 years for both systems. They're going to have the same warranty and the same life expectancy on both products. EPDM and TPO are both going to perform the same as far as weatherproofing your building. So again, it's going to be more just personal preference and climate where you live. The other thing to maybe consider is aesthetics. For an example, we did a building downtown Kansas City. It's got a big barrel roof that you can see from the road, and it's a historical building. So we didn't want to put a black roof on it that had it, where it would really stick out against the old brick that makes it, an old building. And we definitely didn't want to do white because that's really going to stand out. Eventually the white's going to get a little dingy, so we did a gray TPO. So that was just kind of by choice. It's not because one product was better than the other. That was just personal preference, that purely just for aesthetic reasons. The white TPO, eventually it is going to get a little bit dingy, so if it's something you can see from the road, or like maybe an overpass, you might want to go with a black EPDM or a gray TPO or something like that. But as far as performance between the two, they're both going to be identical.